Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halom La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, which means all praises to Yahweh, which is the Father's name, Bahasham in the name, Yahweh Shai, which is the name of his only begotten Son. Double honors to our apostles and elders and great millstone, and salutations to all you brothers who preach in the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. And blessing salutations to you brothers, man, and to you few sisters who listen and watch. Just in my spirit, a couple days ago, I watched this video a couple days ago, and a scoffer came on the comment board, and I was actually supposed to do this lesson, a couple days ago, but it slipped my mind, you know, this fucking dumbass flesh. But the spirit brought it back to my recollection, so Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. This video is a video that an elder brother in my camp, which is a Great Millstone, Chicago, the elder brother Bara, his page is called Bible Secrets Revealed, and this lesson he did, which is a beautiful lesson by the way, it's called I Didn't Choose This, and he goes into how none of us chose to be out there on those corners teaching the word, man. That's John 15 and 16, if I'm not mistaken. Um, it says, "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you." You know, and he had the scoffer on his comment board, and I noticed this scoffer been on a lot of brothers' videos. So I personally believe it's the agent, but the statements he's making, you know, um, if any brother come across these statements, and they don't have the understanding of what he's saying, this is what this lesson is for. Lord willing, is edifying. But I'm gonna start with his comment. It says, "You've been hoodwinked, lied to, deceived. How can you say you're a Hebrew? Blacks were never Hebrews. Abraham was a Syrian man. How did the Syrians become the blacks, the Mexicans, the Mexicans, and lastly the native Indians? How did all this change? Where in all the scriptures did all this happen?" You know, the elder of the camp, the elder Malcolm, he puts, "You're a misinformed agent," which, hey, I personally believe he's agent as well. He posted his lesson, part 4, History of the Middle East proves you to be a liar. He goes back and forth. Then the elder brother Bahra makes his statement. But statement I'm gonna go to is this one right here. He says, "Yes, I am simple. Trying to help you also. You believe what is not biblical. The Bible says all this. Why do you try so hard to deceive others with your lies? Anyone who reads the scriptures can see what the Bible says. Deuteronomy 26 and 5. Black ink on white paper. And you try to deceive others, it doesn't say this. You are a deceived and deceive many." And Esau, I don't know where the fuck you get your agents from, but god damn, did they grab like, do they take English? Did they, like, what the fuck? Simple grammar, man. God damn. But anyway, without further ado, let's go to what he, because according to his statement, he believes Deuteronomy 26 and 5 is talking about Abraham, which it is not. And Lord will, you know, um, we could prove that. This is Deuteronomy 26, the 5th verse. It says, "And thou shalt speak and say before Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, thy power, a Syrian ready to perish was my father. And he went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a few and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous." So when did Abraham go into Egypt with a few and become a great nation? Let's keep reading. Verse 6, "And the Egyptians evil entreated us and afflicted us and laid upon us hard bondage." So what could this be talking about? Verse 7, "And when we cried unto Yahweh, power of our fathers, Yahweh heard our voice and looked on our affliction and our labor and our oppression." It says, "And Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and with great terribleness and with signs and with wonders." So it's letting you know the deliverance from Egypt. So how do we get into Egypt? Let's get that, because this is all through the spirit. I don't have anything, you know, set up. This is Exodus 1 and 5. It says, and all the souls, let me start up Slovakia. This is Exodus 1 and 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which that was Jacob's name was changed to Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. So that's what this is talking about. Deuteronomy 26 and 5 is talking about Jacob going into Egypt, and he sojourned there, and there we became a great nation, you know? Because when the Egyptians afflicted us, the more they afflicted us, the more we grew as a people, you know? So it was speaking of Jacob first and foremost. And why was it speaking of Jacob? It was speaking of Jacob because Jacob spent, it was 7 years for Leah, 7 years for Rachel, and I believe 6 years for the cattle. So he spent 20 years in the land of Syria in Laban, his uncle's house. So now let's get that. Um, Genesis 25 and 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Pandanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. You know, and Jacob lived with him for 20 years because he served for Rachel and Leah, which was Laban's daughters. So Laban and his father Bethuel were called Syrians, right? So which goes back, you know, simply because Lord will, I wanna make this quick and straight to the point and not drawn out, you know. But you simply go to Genesis 10 because us at Great Millstone we call this the Table of Nation Scriptures, you know, the Table of Nation chapter, Slaki, which this is Genesis 10, and I'm gonna scroll down to the sons of Shem, which is verse 21. It says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Shlakia, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And it said what? That Laban lived in Pandanaram. So when you look up that word Aram, it you know, it goes back to the Hebrew word Arama, which is Aram, and it says Aram or Syria, the nation, the Syrian or Armenian people. So Aram and Syria is interchangeable with each other. So in order for Jacob to be a literal Syrian or even Laban to be a literal Syrian, then they would have to come out of the loins of Aram. So let's find out where did Jacob and even Laban came out of. This is Genesis 11 and 10. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And why didn't it mention the Shem's other sons? Because none of them other sons matters. Arphaxad is where the chosen seed came through. Verse 11, and Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 5 and 30 years and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begot Salah 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. And Salah lived after he begot Eber 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Eber lived 4 and 30 years and begot Peleg. It's Peleg, but in the Hebrew it's Pelag. It says, verse 17, and Eber lived after he begot Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu. And Peleg lived after he begot Reu 209 years and begot sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begot Serug. And Reu lived after he begot Serug 207 years and begot sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor. And Serug lived after he begot Nahor 200 years and begot sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 9 and 20 years and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah 119 years and begot sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So Abram, whose name was later changed to Abraham, Abraham begat Isaac, Isaac begot Jacob. So we come out of the line of Shem, which come out of the line of our facts had, not Aram, not Syrians. Okay? Verse 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran begot Lot. Right? So now that we settled that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was not Syrian, let's deal with Laban. Because Laban was related to to um to Jacob. And how was he related to Jacob? Um this is Genesis 22 and 20. It says 19. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor, right? Because Haran died. And that's why Lot cleaved unto Abraham, because Lot's father Haran died, you know? So the only living brother that Abraham had was Nahor, right? It says Huz his firstborn and Buz his brother and Kemuel the father of Aram. Now notice that Aram is talking about a son that came out of Nahor. So this all still comes out of Terah, which comes out of our Faxad, which comes out of Shem, not Syrian. Verse 22. And Kasad and Hazol and Podash and Jitlop and Bethuel, right? Bethuel the Syrian that we just read in Genesis 25. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And who was Rebekah, brother? Let's go back to Genesis, the 25th chapter. Salakia. This is Genesis, verse 25 and 20. It says, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Pandanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. So Laban's father was Bethuel, but when Bethuel goes back to Nahor, Nahor goes back to Terah, which Terah goes back to Arphaxad, and Arphaxad goes back to Sham, not Aram, not Syrians. You know? So Esau, you got to come harder with your agents, man. At least watch our videos and study and don't make up no bullshit, man. So Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone. And salutations to all you Achim around the world, preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity, who's rightly dividing the word of truth directly and correctly. Blessings and salutations to you, brothers, and to you few sisters that watch. Shalom.